Hi everyone, I'm Mickey Trowbridge and welcome to your practice. I get a lot of requests for a bird of paradise practice, and so that is what this is going to be. We will build up to the bind work, the hip opening work, the balance work necessary for the pose. If that pose is scary to you or not something that you think your body can do, don't worry, it'll just be one option amongst a bunch of options. You can totally do this practice without doing bird of paradise. You might want a couple blocks and a strap or something that's going to operate like a block and a strap. And we are going to get started on our backs. See if Miss Shanti will share her yoga mat here. So we're going to get started down on our backs. In Happy Baby, we're just going to come right on into it. Excuse me. So as you come on down, go ahead and bend your knees, turn them out at an angle. So it's about 45 degrees out to the side in each direction. And we're going to reach down and hold on to the pinky edges of your feet. Now, if that's not available to you, then you could hold on to your ankles or behind the knees instead. And let's start to rock a little bit here as we settle in. A little rock to the right, a little rock to the left. Letting your weight shift side to side. And let that rocking begin to inspire your breath. When you're ready, we're going to keep the right leg as it is and take that left foot down to the ground. Let's keep that left knee bent. So we'll ease into this here. And we're going to keep that rocking going. So as you rock to the right, you might tap the right thigh and right knee to the floor and then shift back onto that left side of the pelvis and your right leg will come away from the ground. And let's just do that a couple times, side to side. Rock and tap, and then rock back. Starting to ease into the hips here. And then we'll bring that left leg back into Happy Baby. And we'll switch. Right foot to the ground, knee bent. Keep that rocking going. So as you rock to the left thigh, left knee might tap the floor, but don't force it. And then shift back onto the right side of the pelvis. Just find that rock there, side to side a few times. And then we'll come on back to Happy Baby. And this time as you come into Happy Baby, let's try to drop the pelvis heavily onto the ground. So the top of the pelvis and the bottom of the pelvis. The tailbone likes to lift away from the floor here. You might need to move the legs a tiny bit away from you so that the bottom of the pelvis can reconnect to the ground. And then try to balance the connection of the left and the right side of your pelvis on the floor as well, so you're not leaning either direction. And we're going to honor that as you start to straighten your right leg. Just notice how that affects the low back, and can you keep that low back really symmetrically and evenly connected to the ground? And then rebend the right knee, and we'll do that on the left side. Left leg straightens. And rebend. And let's do each leg one more time. So right leg straightens and bends. And left leg straightens and bends. And if you're like me by this point, your legs are longing to be close together again. So start to bring those knees in together over your belly. Go ahead and pull the feet in toward the bottom and just wrap your arms around your legs. And again, maybe you add that little rock in side to side. And then let's start to rock up and down your spine. And we're going to bring ourselves all the way up and over into table pose. Now as you find your table, wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, let's begin to move through some cat-cow. Inhale, belly dropping, head and heart lifting. And exhale, round your spine, let your head fall forward. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Two more here. Inhale, lengthening the front of the body. Exhale, lengthening the back of the body. Last one. Cow pose. And cat pose. And then inhale into table. And let's take your right leg, begin to fly it back behind you. Let's stay for the inhale there, get super, super long. And then let's exhale, bring your right knee to your right arm. Let the spine round like cat, and then inhale, get long, kick the leg back. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, bring it in, knee to arm. Try to hug the outer left hip in. Inhale, kick back. And 1 more time, bring it in. Pause. And then we're going to step your right foot outside your right hand. Make that work for you. Wiggle your left knee back until you can tuck those toes under and straighten your left leg. And we're going to sneak here right into our lizard pose. So this might be a place where you want to have some blocks under the hands. Let's start with that same sort of rocking action, just moving a little forward and back. And then when you're ready, let's start to soften that back knee. Lift the heart, lift the head, cow lunge. And then as you exhale, we'll straighten both legs, press the ground away and fold, cat lunge. And let's do that twice more. Inhale, knees soften, heart lifts, cow lunge. Exhale, legs straighten and fold, cat lunge. 1 more time. And then as you inhale, let's bend the front knee. Drop your back knee to the floor. Press your right knee into the right outer arm. Stack your shoulders right over your hips. Let's lift that right foot off the ground and take it back into table. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee to left arm. Inhale, lengthen. Feel that right hip firming in, trying to stabilize. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, take it back. And 1 more time, we'll bring it in. We'll pause here. Really feel that round. Feel that left knee getting as close as you can to that left arm while your right hip hugs in. And then make this work for you. Step that left foot outside your left hand. Wiggle your back knee back, tuck those back toes under, straightening the leg. Find that little sway or rock forward and back. And then if and when it makes sense, let's bend both knees, lift the heart, lift the head, cow lunge. Exhale, straighten both legs and fold, cat lunge. 2 more rounds here, cow lunge, knees bending, head lifting. Cat lunge, legs straightening and folding. Last round here. And folding. As you inhale, we'll bend the front knee and then lower that back knee all the way back down to the ground. Start to press that left knee into the left arm. Round your spine like cat. Lift that left foot, pull it in and back, and then return to table. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow. Let's tuck the toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. As you settle into your down dog here, we're going to walk your feet out as wide as your yoga mat. Put the pinky edges of the feet on the ground or on the sides of the mat. Drive down and back through your heels. And feel those inner thighs lengthening back, tailbone lengthening back. And then inhale, let's come forward with the feet this wide into plank. Feel the feet ripping the yoga mat in half, but also those inner thighs hugging in towards one another. And then exhale, hips up and back, wide-legged down dog. Let's move back and forth there a couple times. Inhale, wide-legged plank. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. One more time, wide-legged plank. And wide-legged downward facing dog. Let's bring your feet to hip width. Walk those feet forward little by little. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Full, complete inhale here. Full, complete exhale. Inhale, let's reach. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you fold, let's step your left leg back. Setting the feet for crescent lunge and then rising up as you inhale, hands to the sky. Settle for your exhale. Stay for your inhale. And then drop your back heel, open up, warrior two. Stay for the inhale. Settle for the exhale. Inhale, reverse, left hand down the back leg, right hand reaches up. And exhale, hands down around your front foot. We'll roll onto the ball of the back foot and let's step it back to plank. If you would like to skip vinyasas in your practice today, down dog is a great option. Knees up or down, we'll lower, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice, whatever you feel ready for in your practice today. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot outside the left hand. Pop onto the fingertips, let that left hip drop. Get super long from the back heel through the crown of the head. And then when you're ready, right foot stepping outside the right hand. Both sets of toes out, both heels in. And let's sit down either football coach or malasana squat. Feel the hips dropping and getting heavy as the heart, the spine, the crown of the head lengthens. And have this be like 95% of your depth. It's like you're trying not to touch the seat. So there's still a little bit of integrity and strength to the legs. And then as you exhale, let's fold, let those hips drop, hips lift, head drop. Wiggle the feet to hip width. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up as you inhale. And hands to heart, exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. Feeling even in stillness that rocking or lulling, that ebb and flow of your breath to keep things really fluid and easy. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you fold, we'll step the right leg back. Once you found your feet, we'll inhale, come on up crescent. Settle for your exhale. Stay for your inhale. Ground that back heel as you exhale, open warrior 2. Stay for the inhale. Settle for the exhale. Inhale, reverse. And hands around your front foot as you exhale. We'll step back plank. Remember, you can always skip and head to your downward facing dog or exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choosing. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, right leg lifts, inhale. Right foot outside your right hand as you exhale. Pop onto your fingertips. Let that right hip drop as your left heel presses back. Crown of the head lengthens forward. Start to look forward when you're ready. Left foot steps outside the left hand. Toes out, heels in. Football coach or squat, your choice, at 95% of your depth. And then when you're ready, we'll fold. Hips high, head down. Let's keep the feet wide, but turn the feet to parallel. Let's put a soft bend into both knees. And let your right hand come to the ground below your nose. Left hand's going to come on up toward the sky. That left leg can straighten any amount that you'd like. I'm going to give several options here, so just pick the one that works for you, suits you today. Option 1 is to stay here. There's an option even before this, if this is too much, to either put a block underneath that right hand or to put your right elbow onto your right knee. Option 2, left palm turns to face behind you, bend that elbow, bring the hand into the small of the back, or the non-existent love handle, and settle into your half bind here. And then option 2, for those of you that want a little bit more, maybe option 3, your next option, is to take that right hand between the legs, over toward the right, and then to start to bend that right arm underneath your right thigh and bring your right hand to the butt. The two hands might find each other. You might put a strap between your hands, taking the full bind here. So no bind, half bind, full bind, whatever suits you in this moment. Couple more breaths. If you have the bind, attempt to straighten both legs. Look up under and over that left shoulder. And then exhale, go ahead and release whatever you've built there and let your arms and your head dangle. Let's get that second side. So knees bent, left hand on the floor below the nose, right hand to the sky. That right leg can begin to straighten any amount. You have the option to stay here, hand on floor or block. You have the option to add that half bind in. Right palm turns to face behind you, bend the knee, hand to the small of the back or the left thigh or hip crease. Might stay here. Or some of you start to reach that left hand between the legs toward the back of the mat, and then take your left arm over to the left. So the arm is inside the left thigh right now. And then start to bend that elbow and bring the hand toward your butt. So even if the hands don't connect, you can just push the hands into the back. You could put a strap between your hands. If they do connect, there you go. And then wherever you're at, see if maybe that left leg could head towards straight. Look up and over that right shoulder. And see if you can tap back into that ebb and flow of your breath to keep things really fluid and alive. Not to get stagnant or forced or stuck. Last breath. And then let everything release. Let the hands find the ground, and let's take yourself back into downward facing dog. If you want a vinyasa in there, feel free to take it. As you find your downward facing dog, let's take your right leg up and back. And step that right foot forward between your hands. We'll come on up, crescent pose. And then ground your back heel, open up, warrior two. As you settle there, let's root into your right big toe, straighten that right leg, and start to reach the right hand way forward and pause. Let's get super long up both sides of your waist. Try to get evenly long up both sides of your waist. And then get powerful and long through both legs, out through both heels. We're not going to put this right hand down on anything for now, but you can start to let it come down toward the inner shin, inner calf. So no weight, no pressure in that right hand. Get long and proud across your chest, across your arms. Keep really elongating through the legs. Give that back leg a tiny bit more juice, as though the front leg's not even important. And then option to stay here if you'd like. Option to bend that front knee, look past your front foot. Let the right hand find a block or the floor and come on up into half moon. So triangle or half moon. Those of you who are choosing to stay in triangle, you might now put some weight in that right hand on the floor or a block. Those of you in half moon, maybe you bend the left knee, reach back with the left hand, try to grab the foot, and add Shavasana into your balance pose. Push the left foot, left ankle into the left hand. One more full breath here. And then as slowly and in control as you can, we'll release the grab of the back leg. Open it back up. Put a soft bend in that front knee. Stay with it as you slowly step back into your triangle pose. And then we'll all come up on straight legs. Bend your front knee, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands around your front foot. Vinyasa or downward facing dog, your choice. When you're ready, left leg lifts and foot between the hands. Let's rise up, crescent pose. And then drop your back heel, open up, warrior two. Let's root into that left big toe, straighten the front leg. And start to reach that left hand way forward as your hips kick back. Get super long up both sides of your waist. Try to keep the two sides evenly elongated. Notice if you have a side you like to collapse into. Feel the power, the length of both of your legs, down through both heels. And then without any weight in that left hand, go ahead and let that left hand come down to shin, the inner shin calf, if that works for you. Right hand to the sky. Keep powering into the heels, into the legs. And can you shift in a way where it feels like your back leg is doing the majority of the work? Almost like your front leg could lift off the ground. I won't make you do that. Stay here if you'd like, or begin to look past your left foot. Put a bend in that left knee, reach your hand forward, come on up with control into half moon. The legs are doing that same energetic elongation that they were doing in triangle pose. Stay here or bend your back knee. Grab the foot or the ankle, Shavasana. Wherever you're at, last couple breaths, giving a lot of intention and mindfulness to whatever is present for you in these shapes. Does not matter which option you're taking. Just really make the option that you choose intentional. Fill it with purpose and presence. If you've got that back foot grab, go ahead and release it. Get long. Bend that front knee. Try to take this as slowly as you can as you step back into your triangle pose. We'll rise together on straight legs. Bend the front knee, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And hands around your front foot. Vinyasa or downward facing dog. Your choice. When you're ready, right leg lifts. And foot between your hands. Let's ground your back heel. Come on up, warrior one. And I'm going to give you a moment here to make sure you have that strap close by if you want to use that for a bind here momentarily. So once you've got that set up, warrior one and your legs clasp in the arms. Thumbs are all of the fingers, knuckles toward the ground, heart toward the sky. Think less about the bones of your shoulders pressing back and more about the shoulder blades gliding toward each other and in toward the chest to create more space across the front of the heart. And let's go ahead and release those arms up to the sky, and we'll open up warrior two. Let's begin to reach that right hand way forward. We're keeping the front knee bent this time. Equal length up the two sides of your waist. It's all the same work that we've been establishing. Right hand to the floor or a block inside the right foot, left hand to the sky. Power up that back leg. Try to take some of the weight out of your front leg. Stay here if you'd like, or turn that left palm to face behind you, bend the elbow, bring the hand into the small of the back for the half bind. Option to stay here. This one's going to have lots of options, so you pick the stopping point that makes sense for you and fill it with purpose and presence. If it makes sense, right hand reaches underneath the right thigh, and you go looking for that connection of hands, or maybe the connection of strap between the hands. Full bind. Now, before you get excited and go any further, pause, power up the back leg, equalize the length up the sides of your waist, feel the breath. If you want to go further, look at the ground, a bunch of little steps or a big step in that left foot to come into your forward fold with your bind. Pausing here, straightening your legs as much as is doable in your body. Keep rolling the left side of the torso open. Looking at the ground for now. If you want to go further, shift into that left foot. Come onto the toes of that right foot. Start to bend that right knee as you start to lift up and squeeze that leg into your right arm. We lift up, give that left leg purpose, lengthen up the torso. Stay here or begin to kick your right leg out towards straight. Steady breath. When you're ready to hit rewind, bend the right knee. Slowly with control, bring that right foot to the ground. Step back with that left foot. Bound side angle. Release the bind, open up. Go ahead and let that front leg straighten. Triangle pose. And then let's lift up on straight legs. Bend the front knee, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, fold. Hands around the front foot. And let's step back, downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you want it. Child's pose if you'd prefer to take a few moments. returning to that ebb and flow of your breath. And the ease and the freedom and the fluidity that inspires. When you're ready, let's return to down dog. Home stretch here. Left leg lifts up and back. Foot between your hands. Ground that back heel. Let's rise up, warrior one. And pull those hands back behind you into your clasp. Opposite thumb on top. Thumbs or all of the fingers clasping. And then instead of just pulling the bones of the arms back, shoulder blades glide toward each other and into the chest. Use that to create strength in the upper back that gives permission to the front of the chest and heart to soften and open. And then let's release that clasp and open up. Warrior two. When you're ready, we'll reach forward through that left hand, get super long up both sides of your waist. Extended side angle, left hand on floor or block inside the left foot, right hand to the sky. Option to stay here. Option to turn that right palm behind you, bend the elbow, bring the hand to the thigh or the low back, half bind. Option to take your left arm under the left thigh and reach around for the hand or connection of a strap. Pause here. Elongate where and as you can in the waist. Power up that back leg just a bit more. Stay here if this is a good place to be. Or looking at that front foot and the floor, one big step or a bunch of little steps, right foot comes forward. Pause. Let the legs straighten, let the head hang. Soften and create space where you can. And then looking at the ground, we'll start to bend that left knee coming onto the tips of the toes, shifting into your right foot. And as you come on up, squeeze that left leg around your left arm. Stand tall, give that right leg juice. Elongate the spine. If it makes sense, kick out through that left foot. And then when you're ready to hit rewind, bend the knee. Stay with it as you refold. Left foot finds the ground. Shift into that left foot. Right foot steps back into your extended side angle with your bind. Release the arms. Let that front leg straighten, triangle pose. Let's lift up on straight legs. And then bend your front knee, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands around the front foot, back heel lifts. And let's step back, down dog, child's pose, or vinyasa. Whatever brings you joy in this moment. When you're ready, we are going to walk, step, or hop the feet outside the hands. Toes out, heels in. Let's bend the knees. Come on down to your squat. Now, those of you that are feeling the breath a little haggard, maybe some tension, maybe some fatigue, I want you just to stay here and return to that really lovely ebb and flow of your breath. Those of you that have a tiny bit more juice to give, you like the idea of maybe doing an arm balance. Let's start to fold, hips to the sky, head down. And we're going to walk your hands through your legs and then grab onto the backs of your calves and ankles and start to wiggle the legs onto the back of the shoulders like a backpack. Now, some of you that don't want to arm balance, you could just come here and
Let your hands come up toward the bottom. Press those legs into the outer shoulders. Let the head be heavy. And then if you're game for an arm balance, we'll bring the hands to the ground behind your feet, fingers pointing toward your heels. We're going to start to bend your knees, let the butt drop, but keep hugging the legs into the outer arms. Let the butt drop, the head lift, come up onto the tippy toes, and then when the feet lift, take them out just straight. Big full breath here. Wherever you're at, a little smile. And then feet to the ground. And let's fold. Grab opposite elbows. Take a little sway side to side between your two legs. And then let's bend the knees and come on down to seated. As you come down to seated, let's bring the soles of the feet together, knees open, but instead of a short diamond, let's go long. Option to keep the hands behind you on the ground. Option to begin folding over your long diamond shape here. Now, if there's a block that could be placed on your feet to support your forehead, that's a good option. We're going to be here for a little bit. If there's some formation of elbows bent and head resting in your hands, that's an option. Maybe your forehead rests on the feet. And if none of those are available, let the arms get comfortable and let the head fall forward. Settling in. And then slowly go ahead and rise on up. Bring those legs together. And straighten them out. Press out through the heels. Hands to the sky. Let the hips get heavy, the spine get long. And then let's start to hinge at your hips. Lay yourself up and over the legs. Get long for as long as you can. And then when you've found all the length possible, let the hands come down to wherever they settle. And let the head fall forward. Imagine that you're hugging something between your thighs. But then also feel a sense of pulling the legs away from each other. And do that in harmony. The hug in and the hug out in even proportions. And then go ahead and rise on up. Let's go ahead and slide the legs to bent, feet on the ground. And let's lower ourselves down onto the back. As you come down, let's have the feet hip width apart, setting up for bridge. Hands by your sides. Let the outer shoulders drop into the ground. And then let's press into your feet. We'll begin to rise up, so lifting the hips. And then exhale, just let them come back down. Let's do that one more time before we settle. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hips lower. Last time, hips lift. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. You're welcome to walk your hands beneath you, clasping those hands under the back if you'd like. Feel the heels press into the floor and gently pull back toward your hips. And then nice and slowly release the hands. Let your hips come on down to the ground. And let's bring your left knee into the chest. Let's hold on to the shin or the hamstring there and let your left leg come on down to the ground. Couple breaths here. Let this be nice and easy. And then let your right leg release down onto the floor. And let's bring your left knee into the chest. Support the shin or the hamstring. Let that left leg just drop into the belly nice and heavily. And then bring your right leg in to meet your left. We're going to open the arms into a T shape. Keep the legs, the thighs hugging toward each other. We're going to do our best to keep the knees above the line of the hips. So instead of letting the knees drop away, we're going to try to keep ourselves in this tiny little pod and take your knees over to the left. The outer left thigh can come to the ground. The right leg can rest on the left thigh, but try to keep that angle in the front of the hips really small. If you need to put a block under between your legs, that is definitely an option here. Couple breaths. Let those shoulders unwind. And then inhale back to center. Recommit to that teeny tiny little pod of yourself. And the knees to the right. Letting that left arm and shoulder get heavy. Feeling that unwinding diagonally from left shoulder through left knee. And then bring it back to center. And allow your legs to lengthen out and to settle into your Shavasana. I invite you and encourage you to stay here for at least about 4 to 6 minutes. If you have longer to stay, please do. But this is where I'm going to leave you for today. Thank you so much for practicing together. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste.